Hey, what's going on? This is Mr. Traham in my favorite place, my classroom, and I'm here to explain the base 10 system to you. All right? There's a lot of misconceptions about the base 10 system. There's a lot of falsehoods about it. It's a lot of things that people don't understand. They're like, I don't get it, right? So my goal in this video is to help you understand the entire system, how the whole systems work. And then you take it and you can manipulate it how you want to because you understand the system. All right. There's three important things that you need to understand about the base 10 system. All right. That this is a system made up of only 10 digits, 0 through 9. Now notice I didn't say only 10 numbers. Only 10 digits. The digits are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 10 digits in this system, 0 through 9. Now, also, when it comes to trading in, right? 10 smaller numbers can be traded in for one bigger number, as I'm about to show you, and one bigger number can be traded back down for 10 smaller numbers in this system, right? Now, some people say, oh, Mr. Trey, it's infinity numbers. It's infinity this, it's infinity that. Oh, it's 100 billion, or I got trillions or millions and all that. Oh, no, you're talking about the numbers. There are only 10 digits in the entire system. You can produce an infinite amount of numbers if you change the place that you put the numbers in. If you continue to move to the left, the numbers get bigger in those places. But ask yourself, what digits are going in those places? You'll realize, oh, it's only 10 digits. Either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Once I get to 10, 10 can no longer fit in that particular place. It has to move on either to the left, or you can decompose it and break it down and go back to the right. So this is the rules of the system. Again, there's only 10 digits, 0 through 9. 10 smaller numbers can be traded in for one bigger, and one bigger number can be traded back down for 10 smaller. But more importantly, right here, where you put a number determines how much it's worth. Basically, where you put the digit determines how much it's worth. So, I ask myself, do I understand place value? All right, so let's move on. Look up here. This will explain to you that it's only 10 digits in the system. We're going to start off with just 0. I have 0. I get 1. I have 1 ones, 2 ones, 3 ones, 4 ones, 5 ones, 6 ones, 7 ones, 8 ones, 9 ones. When I get to 10 ones, I can no longer be contained to the ones place. The ones place, when I get to 10 ones, reverts back to 0. The ones place starts all over. Then you move the 1 to the left. That is 10. A 10 is 1 in the tens place and a 0 in the ones place. But you just had 9 in the ones place. What happened? How did you go back to 0? Well, I'm in a system that the highest number in each spot is 9. So when I get to 10 in that particular spot, I revert it back to 0 and I move a 1 to the left because 10 is 1, 0, right? Then you can go all through your tens, 10. Then when you get to 19, that's 1 and 9. And you get 1 more, that becomes 20, which means the ones goes back to 0 again. And now I have 2 in the tens place. Go through your 20s, 20 through 29, go through your 30s, go through your 40s, go through your 50s, go through your 60s, 70s, 80s, go through your 90s. You can go through 90 through 99. When I get to 99, if I add 1 more to it, I can no longer have a 9 in the ones place or a 9 in the tens place. 99 plus 1 is 100. That means the 9 here goes back to 0, and the 9 here goes back to 0, and then I move the 1 to the left. 100 is 1, 0, 0 because of the system. The biggest number in each spot will be 9. The biggest digit is 9. When I get to 10, it reverts back to 0, and that spot starts all over, right, in the system. Then I just move it to the left, all right? So that means if I have ones, I get 10 of them, that becomes a 10. If I have 10 tens, it can be traded in for 100. If I have 10 100s, it can be traded in for 1,000. If I have 10 thousands, then it can be traded in for 10,000. If I have 10 10,000, it could be traded in for 100,000. If I have 10 100,000s, it can be traded in for 1,000,000. 10 millions can be traded in for 10 million. 10 10 millions can be traded in for 100 million. And 10 100 millions can be traded in for 1 billion, because 10 smaller ones can be traded in for one bigger one. The opposite is true as well. I can decompose, I can go backwards, I can break down a big value into 10 smaller ones, right? So if I start on the end, 1 billion can be traded in for 10 100 millions. 100 million can be traded in for 10 millions. 1 10 million can be traded in for 10 millions. 1 million can be traded in for 10 100,000s. 100,000 can be traded back in for 10 10,000s, right? 10,000 can be traded in for 10 of the thousands, right? So if you see what's going on, 1,000 can be traded in for 10 of the hundreds. 1 of the hundreds can be traded in for 10 tens, and 1 of the tens can be traded in for 10 ones. That makes the rule in the middle true, that 10 smaller ones can turn into one bigger one. So if I'm going from small to big, I need 10 times as many to go here, 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, but I also need 1/10 of if I'm going backwards. I take 1 billion, I get 1/10 of it, that's 100 millions. And 100 million, I take 1/10 of it, that's 10 millions. So if I'm going from left back to the right, this is 1/10 of. It's the opposite of doing times 10 going this way. But still, I'm in a base 10 system. All right, so I'm gonna go over the 3 rules again. Rule number 1, there's only 10 digits in this system, 0 through 9. When I get to 10, that place goes back to 0, and I move the 1 over there to the left, right? Rule number 2, 10 smaller ones can be traded in for one bigger one, or one bigger one can be decomposed and traded back down for 10 small ones in the base 10 system. All right, and the most important thing, where you put a number determines how much it's worth. If I put a 1 in the ones place, it's worth 1. If I put a 1 in the tens, it's worth 10. If I put a 1 in the hundreds, it's worth 100, and on and on and on. Where you put the number determines how much it's worth. That is place value. Where you put a number, what place you put it in, determines how much it's worth, determines its value. Again, this is Mr. Tram. This is a quick video on the base 10 system and how it's related to place value. I hope it cleared up your misconceptions. Peace.